Am I the a-hole for telling my friend that she doesn't get to have an opinion about my cooking because she is poor? My best friend Layla, 29 female, and her partner Ryan, 40 male, were over for dinner this evening. I enjoy cooking and tonight's dish was a seafood pasta with garlic bread and a veggie side dish. Having Layla and Ryan over for dinner is a semi-frequent occurrence, but they typically don't contribute anything to our meals. The reasoning is 1, they struggle financially, and 2, neither of them are very good at cooking. If they do bring something, it's usually drinks or a store-bought side dish, potato salad, mac salad, chips, etc., but that is rare. This has not ever really bothered me because hanging out is always a good time and I'm understanding of their financial situation and preference for not cooking. My partner and I live very comfortably and can afford to feed guests for dinner every so often, so it really has never been an issue until tonight. I usually like to cut shrimp in half when I'm incorporating it into pasta because I feel like it mixes in better that way. It's just a personal preference. I don't claim to be a master chef. I just like cooking, and that's the way I've always done it. Layla started getting on my case about not serving whole shrimp with the pasta. It started out as light-hearted banter but quickly became extremely annoying. Some of her comments included, "Feeling stingy tonight, huh? Hope I don't get hungry again later. I've never seen pasta served with cut-up shrimp before." I eventually got fed up and said something along the lines of, "Interesting take considering that I know you've never cooked shrimp ever in your life, and probably can't afford to either. You don't work, Ryan doesn't have a real job. You guys come over here for free food and complain about it. Nah, I'm done." It was word vomit, followed by a very awkward silence. They left shortly after that. I texted Layla an hour later and apologized for what I said. She apologized as well, but honestly I'm still mad. I'm starting to feel like they're freeloaders and it just feels icky knowing that they come over here and eat well pretty often and my partner and I never get anything in return. I know that we're in different financial situations, but there are ways to make an effort without spending a lot of money. Layla suggested we do dinner again next week, assuming we were all good after we both apologized. I responded and basically said, "I'll pass on that." She hit me back with, "So are we too poor for you now?" And I just said, "Yep." It's obviously not entirely that. But the whole thing left a bad taste in my mouth and now I don't even want to talk to her. My partner thinks I'm being harsh, but I don't know. I feel used and I don't like that.
Everyone sucks here. You're not wrong for getting mad at them being critical of the food you're making, but you fucked up by making it all about them being poor in your response. Better to just go with a more general, "Well, feel free not to eat it," then.
Everyone sucks here for me too. Criticizing a nice meal your friend made for you is shitty. As for OP, it's weird that she also refuses to actually try and talk it out with her best friend. It doesn't sound like they really are best friends if they can't have an honest conversation about things that hurt their feelings. Why apologize if you didn't mean it? Why let resentment boil over? I don't get it.
Everyone sucks here. Your friend was being incredibly rude, but you immediately made it incredibly personal and basically let her know you've been looking down on her the whole time. Then doubled down on the "you're poor" thing instead of just saying you don't care for her behavior and don't want to see her anymore. That's completely classless. Nobody was making you cook for them and it's clear you don't like them much, so I don't get why you didn't just shut down the dinner when she was being a brat by saying her comments made you disinterested in entertaining anymore and then just not ever invite them again.
Yeah, that was rude. And considering how quickly that came out, I can't help but wonder if OP hasn't been harboring some feeling of resentment. For a while now that was just waiting for an excuse to come out.
She was rude. You were worse. Insulting someone's entire life is worse than insulting their shrimp. Everyone sucks here, but mostly you. You dramatically escalated this. And she's not your friend anymore.
This is your best friend? Sheesh. I'd hate to see how you treat people you don't like. Both of you sound awful.
Am I the a-hole for refusing to support my sister after dad told her he regrets being her dad? I, 28 female, have 2 siblings, Jake, 34 male, and Donna, 32 female. When Donna was 10, dad found out mom had cheated on him, and Donna was not his child, which confirmed this. Our parents divorced, but nothing changed with Dad and Donna. He still treated her the same, but he also told her if she ever wanted to know her biological father, he would love, support, and help her in that journey too. When Donna was 20, she asked Dad for help finding her bio father. He paid for the DNA test and other expenses, including travel when she found him. He paid for therapy. He held her hand throughout. He told me and Jake that this changed nothing, and he told us to support our sister because he was worried we wouldn't like her finding the guy. Donna chose not to stay in touch with her bio father at that time. 3 years after this, Donna started a relationship back up with her biological dad, but told nobody for 2 years. The first we learned about it was when Donna got engaged and she invited the guy to her engagement party. During the engagement party, she introduced her biological dad as her real dad to people. Dad took it in stride and said it was sometimes hard to find the words. Donna asked Dad if he would pay for her biological father's hotel room for an extra night because he could only afford that one night, and she wanted to see him a little longer, and Dad did this for her. When she got married, she asked Dad to pay, and he did. Then she had her bio father walk her down the aisle and only mentioned him in her toast. Dad was so heartbroken. She also refused to take a photo with just Dad and us, without her real dad in it. Then she got mad that Dad asked for it. She called him out for it after the wedding. Then 2 years ago, she refused to take part in Dad's 60th birthday because it wasn't fair to her real dad. She also announced that she was expecting a baby and didn't want to confuse her child about who their grandpa was. So she wasn't going to pretend Dad was her dad any longer. She also announced her real dad had adopted her, so she was no longer legally Dad's kid anyway. She didn't try to include Dad in her baby's life at all. But now her real dad has let her down, and she went crying back to Dad and said she wanted him to be in her life again. She wanted him to reassure her that nothing was wrong, etc., and Dad refused. She told him he shouldn't reject his grandchild, and he said he never rejected his grandchild, but she made it clear he didn't have one. She said it wasn't fair, and he promised nothing had changed. He said he wished he hadn't done any of it. He wished he had left her to her real dad since he meant nothing to her clearly. She went to Jake, who told her she got what she deserved. Then she turned to me. I didn't say that, but I told her I wanted no part of her pity party and would not support her after what she did to Dad. She told me we had always been close, and it was so cold and cruel to reject supporting her when she needs it most. Am I the a-hole?
Your poor dad, I bet he was crushed. Poor guy.
He was, and he never tried to put any of it on Donna. But his final straw was finding out about the adoption at the same time. He found out she was pregnant but had told everyone else first, and then the outright rejection of him as a parent and a grandparent for her child all in one single hour. Like everything else, he would defend her and be understanding of her, but that was too much even for him.
Yeah, that would have been too much for anyone. To find out she was not his bio daughter and still treated her like she was all those years, and then she did him that way. That's horrible.
Not the a-hole. You should send her this post so she can see just how royally she has screwed up. If she was 16 minus 21, I may have given her a pass, but she is a grown woman who chose to stomp all over the heart of the one man who has stood by her throughout this whole mess your mother created. Info, just as I am curious, what is your mother's reaction to all this?
I'm not sure because I do not talk to my mother. I am not close to her.
Not the a-hole. She got what she deserved, and I don't know what people say, but I hope she feels the emotional pain she caused to you and your family. I really feel for your dad. I can't imagine how hurt he must be after raising her like his own child despite knowing she wasn't his child.
It broke my dad. The betrayal felt worse to him than my mom's, I think. He hasn't been the same since Donna did all this to him, and I hate that because he's such a good person.
Tell him that internet strangers admire him. Some people can't be helped. Unfortunately, we remember pain more acutely. Remind him that he is loved and admired by everyone he has met. Yes, he was betrayed by 2 people he loved, but how many more people is he loved by who stand with him? I hope he finds his peace.
What do you think of these stories? Leave a comment and subscribe to the channel for more interesting stories.